actually a really good question. You might want to ask your bald-headed mama what she would do. Me, myself, I would just either wear my hair curly, straight, put it in a ponytail, or a bun. Hope that answers your question.
Hello, guys. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Women Exodus. How are you all doing? Like always, if you enjoyed this content, please, on the way in, like and subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. Also, please say hello in the chat. Hey, chat, hey. Say what's up to me in the comment section. Also, if you have any ideas or any suggestions for videos, feel free to email that to me to my Gmail. It is lexusexoduschannel@gmail.com. Also, once you have a moment, please quickly pause the video and check out the backup page. It is called LexX. That's LEXEX, and you can also find the link in the description below. This is another installment of my daily series called the Blackistan Zoo, where we profile the dusty derelicts, animals, and crazy creatures in Blackistan. Let's go. So today is going to be a fun one because we are going to talk about your hobosexual. So your hobosexual, you can find him couch surfing in your local Miami Section 8 apartment. He is extremely dusty. You'll often see him with empty pockets. He'll have lint in his pockets. You'll also see him carrying trash bags, like Sinji likes to say. He's oftentimes observed eating all the kids' snacks and shit, eating their fruit snacks, drinking their juice boxes and stupid stuff like that. So his behavior. So this type of creature is extremely prevalent in Blackistan. So these are the men who are broke, busted, and disgusted, and extremely dusty, who seek relationships with mammies solely for a place to live. So these dust mites are unemployed, they're bums, they're losers. And instead of simply being men and working to provide a living for themselves, they'll prey on unsuspecting women and will leech off women who will date them so that, they're allowed to crash at her home for free. So they'll do things like live in her Section 8 apartment, even though he's not supposed to be here. So we know Section 8 took the Tyrones out the home. When in all actuality, typically what happens is the mammy will just hide the Tyrones' belongings once it's time for that inspection. He'll eat all of her food, so he'll use up all the food stamps and he'll consume all the kids' snacks, eating Lunchables and shit. He'll use her car all day and will drop her off at work so the dusty can cheat and can make side babies. And he'll do tons of other trifling shit in return for the mammy's kindness and generosity. So, and just an important note, these men are called hobosexuals as they are homeless people. They're hobos who will do sexual favors and become involved romantically simply for a place to live. So now that we know the prototype of your dusty hobosexual, I want to break down the ideology of your typical dusty hobosexual. So comedian Claudia Jordan, recently did a segment on Fox Soul where she breaks down the telltale signs of your Blackistan dusty hobosexual. She also details an experience that she went through while dating one of these bums, and also talks through why it's important to stay away from these losers. So let's watch this because I think this is a very nail on the head type of analysis of what you're dealing with when you're looking for signs of your hobosexual. So
dealt with a hobosexual before, where someone wanted to rush through a relationship and get to that. Or on the internet, it was a buzzing about people sharing their experiences with hobosexuals, a person that dates you with the sole interest of having a place to stay. It is not a genuine romantic interest. Now, if you're wondering how to spot them, we have our top 5 warning signs to indicate you're with a hobosexual. Number 1, they move into a relationship too fast. Number 2, they're always in between in life, job, car, house, etc. Like, oh, I'm about to get this job. I'm about to get a car. Number 3, when he or she visits, they don't know when to leave. Even when you hit them with that, what you about to do? They looking at you like, what we about to do? Nah, what you about to do? Number 4, their lifestyle is infringing upon yours. And number 5, they quickly ask you to move in with you. Oh my God, this is bringing me back memories. Fellas, to be in a relationship. And I believed it at the time because he had all that fake Muslim, fake vegan, fake teeth, fake fillers. Everything was fake, but he was just trying to, his goal was only to live with. He just needed a place to stay till he got the next girl.
So who was this?
On the internet, it was a buzzing about.
That's pretty funny. So these top 5 signs of a homosexual, that's really, really good information. So my son's dad, he was a homosexual. He was a bum. And I didn't realize it because we met each other very young. We were high school sweethearts. So it was very, very hard for me to grasp the fact that he was a loser because we were kids when we met and we both didn't have anything. And I didn't start realizing how much of a broke loser dust-mite this fool was until I grew and continued to surpass him and to outgrow him. And I've always been driven. So I talk about this often. So since very young, I had an apartment at 18. I worked, I went to school, I had a car, a full-time scholarship, while he just remained very stagnant in life and stuck in that adolescent state that we talk about, that Tyrone's at Nignogs are stuck in. So he became a homosexual as well. So of course he lived with his mom as a teen, but even after that, after he, grew up, we were adults, he moved in with me. Then when we would break up, he would move back with his dad or mom or his stepmom. And finally, when we divorced, decided to move in with the next chick. So there was never a significant amount of time during his adulthood or period overall at all where he was solely responsible for paying for his own living, his own lifestyles, and providing for himself alone. So like this list says, he was always in between jobs, always in between cars. Still to this day, this dust mite is getting eviction notices. And he drives a different car every few months. I think he just came over yesterday to pick up our son and he had a Charger. So I'm pretty sure he's getting rentals because they have plates from different states every time he pulls up. And it's just a mess. So this is why it's so important to divest and stay away from Blackistan, because this community is so full of bloodsuckers. It's so full of homosexuals who are solely looking for relationships and interested in pursuing women to be able to suck them dry. So that is, those are some telltale signs of what to look for when dating to stay privy and leery of your homosexual. I want to look at this next clip. And shout out to my exes, shout out to my subbies who always share content with me. I appreciate you guys. This person, she sent this to me this morning on IG, so I want to keep her anonymous, but I thought this was so timely. She shared this conversation with me that she had with the homosexual bum trying to leech off her. So let's look at this. And I'll have to blur his number out because his number is on here, but I thought this was, man, this hit the nail on the head. And this really epitomizes what we're talking about when, we're discussing your homosexuals and what you're dealing with. Okay. So, so let's read the text conversation. So she says, hey, subby says, hey, and this Nignog says, I quit that job. They going above themselves. And she says, wow, LOL. And then he says, they tried it. Good morning. How are you? She responds and says, good morning. I'm good. And you? He says, I'm great. She says, why'd you quit? They was being inconsiderate. I got cut and asked for some bandage. And the manager told me I should buy them at home or at Walgreens. And he said it with an attitude. I confronted him and he said I'm lying and started talking crazy. And I said, F him, and clocked out and walked out. They kept telling me to tell other workers what to do, and they wasn't listening due to the fact that I'm a regular employee like them. If you're reading along, this fool is an illiterate, dusty homosexual because he has a bunch of grammatical and spelling errors, but we'll do our best to try to comprehend what he's saying. I don't speak niggerese, but I think we can comprehend it if we try our best to comprehend this and to interpret this. I brought it to their attention, and they trying to flip the script on me, saying I was being too aggressive to them and not being a team player, which is completely false. But due to the fact that one other cook was really white, and they was defending him and saying I'm the liar, so I kind of wasn't having it. She says, got it. And he says, I need to make a resume. I have an interview tomorrow, but I don't have the computer to make one. She says, go to the public library. So she says, go to the public library. He says, okay. What did she say at the bottom? She says, what? Oh my gosh, this was so funny. And thank you so much for sending this to me, sis, because I swear these nignogs, they must go to the same dusty school on how to be a dust mite, because they always say the same ish, talking about they walked off a job because they got disrespected. And my ex nignog used to pull that shit all the time. It's like, how you expect to get treated like a king at somebody else's shit? You work in the mailroom, Tyrone. Humble yourself. They always talking about walking off and quitting just because they was disrespected. My gosh, this is why you can't deal with these dusties. Thank God this loyal subscriber cut that shit short and nipped it in the bud and told his broke ass to go to a library. And that's how you do it. I don't encourage you talking to these Tyrones at all. I think you should divest and date non-Black men solely. But if you're going to, and I guess even if you're not, then you should always have this type of attitude. During the courting stage, these men should never be coming at you with their hands out. I don't give a F what it is. I don't give a damn. He could have asked her for a penny. That's not okay. When you're courting, you're vetting these men. They should be courting you. They should be displaying chivalry. They should be, trying to show you how good of a man they are. And so this one was trying to use her computer. But I've seen dusties asking to borrow money, asking to use women's cars, all sorts of ish. So don't do that, ladies. Do exactly what this person did. So thank you again for sending that to me. So, okay. So here is another instance of a hobosexual trying to find his newest host that he can prey on. So I'll read this to you guys and then we will unpack. So this person says, why the F did I give Sean my number? And so the text conversation says, this is Sean from last night. What's up? She says, oh, hey, I just woke up. He says, I feel ya. What you got planned for today? She says, probably nothing. And then he asks, all right, you got a man? She says, touch your nose, sweetie, and laughs. I'm not quite sure what that means. But anyway, he says, LOL, I was just asking. Then he says, let me ask you something, though. Here we go with the niggalese speech. You see that this one can't form a proper grammatically structured sentence either. But he's asking her for something. Always got their hands out. So she says, go ahead. He says, can I move in with you? I just did 7 years and I need a place to crash for a while. She says, sir, see, you need to block Sean. And then he says, I won't be a bother, little sexy girl. Where you stay, I'm finna come. Child, this don't make no mother effing sense. You see how he moved on so quickly, like onto the stage where he's asking her to move in with her. And this man had just met her last night, the caption said, and he's already asking if he can come inside her home and live there. And it's like, sir, if you just did 7 years in jail and don't have a home, you don't need to be dating at this point. You need to be focused on getting your ish together. You need to be using some of that drug money that you went to jail for to get your own damn house. And I have a lot of young ladies who watch me. They write in all the time, a lot of girls that are in high school. And let me tell you guys something, young women, never, ever, ever let a guy move in with you. And I don't give a F if he's black, blue, or purple. Don't do it. Do not do it. Don't do it with Brad. Don't do it with Jose. Don't do it with Chung Lee. Never do it. Certainly don't do it with the dust mite. And I know that you might think that you're in love. You might think that, he's the one. This is going to last forever. But let me tell you, do not let him move into your shit. And if it's meant to be, once you're older, once he's committed to you, then at that point, you can find something together. But don't let him move inside your home. Because these dusties will move into your home. They'll eat your food. They'll run up your bills. These concords will mess up your apartment, be punching holes in your walls and shit. They'll mess up your rental history. So take it from someone who has more life experience, who's been there, done that, and regretted it. Do not do it. That's an easy way to get burned by these dust mites. And here's some more game too. Once you move him in, if you decide to break that cardinal rule, make that mistake, you cannot kick him out, even if his name isn't on your lease. So even if you call the authorities and you guys have gotten into it and you ask that they remove him, they're going to tell you, no, legally, you can't do nothing because you've allowed him to establish residence inside your home. So they're going to tell you now it's a civil matter and you need to go through the formal eviction process and need to go to the courts. So your best bet is just not to do it at all. Don't do it at all. I don't even think while dating, honestly, y'all should really be hanging out at your home. Again, he should be courting you. That means he should be taking you out on dates. He should be being chivalrous and should be making it clear that he's interested in you and that he's pursuing you. If you insist on allowing him inside your home to hang out sometimes, that's your decision. I don't recommend it, but you need to send his ass back home as soon as you guys are done. Please, I cannot emphasize that enough. When my current husband and I moved in together, we were already engaged. He paid the down payment on our home and moved us inside this home. And we signed the deed together. And I was turning 30. I was 29 at the time. So I had a lot more life experience under my belt. I had experienced a lot of dusties and had a really clear idea of what I wanted and what I didn't want. So I was a lot more mature and able to make that decision. But the bottom line is he paid the down payment on this home and we signed the deed together. I would never move him inside my home while we were dating. Never, ever, 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 ever. Okay, so I also wanted to show you guys this clip that is going viral on TikTok of a dust mite teaching other dusties how to become hobosexuals.
You, OD Sanchez, here at the FYB store. Come through, get some drip, Crown Heights. We here every day except Monday. Come through. Back to the lesson at hand, Hobosexual 101, the first night. How do we get past the first night? You have two options to get past the first night. You get over there, you be like, you act like your stomach is hurting, go to the bathroom a few times. Don't stay longer than about 15 minutes, watch some YouTube videos, take care of that. Don't actually shit in the bathroom, that's disgusting. Come out, I don't know if I should leave yet, my stomach is kind of hurting. Boom. Option number two, after you knock it down, after you get up in there and knock that shit down, you're like, I'm tired, like your shit mad good. I'm super tired. Why would you expect me to go back outside? You know, during this time, I might get in a car accident. Let me just stay open. And before she wake up, you order some Uber Eats, get that breakfast popping. So by the time she wake up, the breakfast is already there. I might as well just eat some breakfast. Boom! First night done, baby. You're welcome. OD Sanchez, Hobosexual 101. Yo, OD Sanchez. I'm shooting here, location at the FYB store. Come through, Crown Heights. Get some drip, get some fun, get some drinks, get some whatever. Come through. This lesson today is taught by me, yours truly, on hobosexuality. The name of the class is Hobosexuals 101. Our first lesson of hobosexuality is make sure you're indispensable. Listen, dick is going to run out. It's going to get boring at some point. So listen, when she get up, she go to work, she go to sleep, you got to unplug the Wi-Fi. Unplug that router, bro. You know what I mean? Or when he go to work and you want to fuck up the refrigerator a little bit. Something that you can fix, but something that they can't fix because they have actual lives, so they can't do the shit. They will call a repairman. But you're right there fixing everything up, and now you in there like swimwear. Hobosexuals, stand up or lay down. You're going to be in the crib, sleep so late.
Okay. So this dummy is disgusting. He talks about intentionally effing up his girlfriend's electronics so that she becomes dependent on him to fix it. So he'll break the fridge, he'll mess up the Wi-Fi and do things so that he has an opportunity to, instead of her calling the repairman, he can step in and kind of save the day and fix it. He's also talking about pretending to be sick to stay over, and that's so gross. And I always say that these fools hustle backwards. All this time, all this energy, and all this effort that they're putting into finding a place to stay by being a leech, they could put that into a legitimate business and actually be able to afford their own place and be able to afford to take care of themselves. But these fools are lazy and rather just mooch off of women. Okay, so I want to show you guys this next clip of a Match.com hobosexual who preyed on this poor, unsuspecting woman, and she had to pay the price. So let's watch this.
It's your girl Nan here. This is a little story time. How I met this idiot on Match.com. If you meet him, ladies, don't walk but run in the opposite direction. His name is Roderick Lyndon Davis. He will present himself dishonestly. Told me he was a police officer. He's more like a security guard with a badge. He is bankrupt. Yes, he filed bankruptcy and told me he lived by himself and had roommates. Turns out he lives in a boarding house. He's been living there 2 years. I don't think there's any time he's going to be getting out anytime soon. He's also a liar, and he's going to want to tap into your bank account as well. So don't loan him any money. You won't get it back. He's a liar, and he takes care of his adult daughter, and I think she's a bit of a hoe too. Good luck with this one. Roderick Lyndon Davis, run in the opposite direction. Thank me later.
Golly. So a few things here. This is why it's so important to divest and vet. If this woman had followed those 2 important rules while dating, she wouldn't be in this situation. So she's been fooled by your typical hobosexual. He's broke, busted, and disgusted. He pretended to be an officer with his little uniform. You see his little badge, but turns out he's just a mall cop. And this reminds me of a Dusty Lifetimes, a guy that I dated, who told me he was a chef, and really, in reality, he was a high school lunch lady. Yeah. This fool, she talks about how he had been bankrupt. He also lied and said that he had a place to live, but he lived in a boarding house. And quite honestly, when he told her that he had roommates, that should have been a red flag. This man looks 40 plus, maybe even in his 50s, and having roommates at that age is unacceptable. So she loaned him money. She got drained of her resources. And this is what typically happens when you're dating hobosexuals. And this is why it's so important to be leery and to pay attention to the signs and stay away from these men. Okay, so I want to show you guys this last clip. And before I do, I want to preface this with the main problem with a lot of hobosexuals is that if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So you think the fact that these women provide roofs over their heads, they provide food in their bellies, they have a place to sleep at night, things like that, shelter, heat, they would be thankful, but they aren't. Typically they aren't. And instead of being grateful and thanking their lucky stars for these women who are willing to do this just to keep a man, what they'll do, they'll literally bite the hands that feed them. And typically these fools will thank her by stabbing her in the back. They'll lie and cheat. They'll oftentimes have side babies. They'll use her cards to see other women, things like that. So I want to show you guys this last video that really demonstrates that. It's pretty freaking funny.
That's how you brother. You spend James money every month. What's your broke ass?
Calling her broke while he ain't her.
Man, what the fuck you did? Shut your broke lying ass up.
Watch that again. Because this is pretty freaking funny.
That's why you broke. That's why you broke. Man, come out here and do something. That's why you brother. You spend James money every month. What's your broke ass? And that's why you ain't got nowhere to live. That's a real deal, man. Man, what the fuck you did? Shut your broke lying ass up.
Okay, enough of that. So what we just watched is this man getting kicked out, probably for cheating. He has his 2 trash bags, which is why I love Sunji, because she coined that term, 2 trash bag carrying Dusties. And when I tell you, that cannot be more accurate, because it is so true. When I think about the Dusty fools that I dated, none of them had a pot to piss in. They didn't have a suitcase or a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, quite frankly. They just had trash bags, and they typically just owned a few clothing items and, of course, a couple pair of Jordans or something else, but then carried around a few trash bags. So this man has the nerve to call her broke and dirty, although he is the hobosexual. He's the person who has been sleeping inside her home. And the poetic justice happens very swiftly as his goofy ass falls down the steps and goes tumbling with his trash bags and his entire lifetime of belongings. This is a whole hot ass mess. This is a whole mess. This is a hot mess, but this is why I say do not mess with these hobosexuals. These fools will intentionally seek women that are vulnerable. You might have a couple of children and maybe thinking, oh, it makes more sense for him to move in because he can watch the kids while I'm at work. Don't do that shit, y'all. Just hire a babysitter, I'm telling you. Because you'll be better off just paying someone. I mean, shit, think about how much it costs to take care of another adult person. You see what I'm saying? You'd be better off just professionally hiring, a relative or somebody to babysit. That way, I mean, because it's worth it. That way you're avoiding all the headache, all the drama, all the toxicity that comes with these situations when you entertain these homosexuals. They're known to come around during tax time, so they're very, very strategic. They'll make sure around January to start cupcaking with you, to reach out to you, being super nice. A lot of y'all's baby dads will do this mess and will know, hey, she got a big old check coming soon, so he'll be super nice and will butter you up. That way you allow him back into your home and back into your pockets. But this is not what you want. This is not what you want. It's difficult enough to take care of children, and be a single mother. To be a parent overall, period, it's hard. Even if you're in a nuclear family and, you have a father figure inside the home where you're married, it's still tough. It is extremely difficult to take care of an adult man-child. Because at least with the children, they'll return you and they'll pay you back with love and loyalty. With these men, they'll pay you back with cheating on you, giving you STDs, coming back with side babies. They'll F up your ish, so you'll have holes in your walls, mess up your rental history, your credit. Don't do it, y'all. All right. That's all for now. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you guys. Until next time. See you guys. Bye.
If y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, appreciate it.